Hey everyone, and welcome to the tutorial series for the procedural park. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the central actors. And we're going to cover things like how to change the number of central actors, some of the general settings, and the minimum distance between the actors. So if we go ahead and jump into Unreal, again, make sure that you're in the level tutorial. And I have a park selected here. And we have, if you go to general settings, I have it set up as a massive park. So set it up to massive park in this case, and go down and click on set parameters. We've set the parameters to massive park. And right now, if you click on spawn central actors, you'll see that we have a bunch of actors that just spawned in this area. If we remove everything and spawn them again, notice that the same number of actors has spawned. It's just that the location has changed, right? So the way this works is that based on your auto parameters, a specific number of central actors is calculated. So in this case, we've calculated, if you go to setup generation, make sure you expand central actor details, and you have spawn central actors, yes or no. In this case, yes. Total central actors in this case is 8. So for a massive park like this, we want to spawn 8. But you can change this to any number you want. And then besides that, you have a minimum distance between actors, and this is 5,000. So this is just used because every single time you spawn an actor, you want to make sure that you are at least 5,000 units away from the nearest actor. That way things are spaced out. This isn't really as necessary because once you spawn your central actors, you can actually move them without a problem. So you are free to move the actors anywhere you want to customize your park. So you can see here. You can also spawn more actors. Click here and you can click on spawn more central actors. And notice that only one spawned here because the park tried to spawn 8 more, but it could not find the place here that was 5,000 units far from any other actor. So this is just a safeguard to make sure that things are spaced out correctly. However, like I said, we can make that number anything we want. So we go down here and say we actually only want 5 actors. And sure enough, if we click on central actors, we have 5. Very, very simple. The next is the central actor list. If we go ahead and expand this, we see that we have 5 central actors included in the park by default. And if we expand one, index 0, you'll see that we have an actor class, and it is building base underscore park central. And if you click on this little icon, it'll actually take you to the actual file in the content browser. And let's go ahead and open it. If you go to the viewport, you see that this is one of the central actors. It's just a little fountain with some water particles and 4 seats. So for this specific one, we have bounds that have been calculated. You have to enter this manually, 650 by 650. We have an option that we want this actor to always spawn or not, whether we want this actor to have a random yaw, whether we want this actor to flatten the landscape or apply a landscape material. So always spawn means that no matter how many central actors you want to spawn, this should always spawn, right? So if we spawn several actors, for example, let's go ahead and click on spawn central actors. Notice that the actors are random, right? However, this actor, which is this one right here, is always spawning, and that's the reason why we have that. If we wanted to spawn, let's say, only 2 central actors out of 5, it'll be more obvious. I say spawn central actors. Notice that this guy always spawns, no matter how many times we press the button. And that's pretty much the idea, is that you have a list of all possible central actors, but maybe you want some of these to always spawn for whatever reason, and that's where you use the always spawn. Right? Notice that if we check out some other actors, for example, this guy right here, which is the one with the white mannequin, is not set to always spawn. So this guy has a chance to spawn, right? Same thing with these guys right here. So that's pretty much it. You can add as many central actors as you want from your list. And based on the total number of actors, it'll pick random actors from this list, except if you select that you want something to always spawn, then it'll just always spawn. Flatten landscape, we're going to take a deeper look at this, but I just want to show you, just for the sake of showing you all the options here. Let's say that we want to, go to sculpt, and we want to create some mountains here. Can we even see, not smooth, but sculpt. And you can see that I'm just creating some mountains here in the area where it's supposed to spawn. So you can see here, if I select the option that I want this to flatten the landscape, let's see what happens when we do. Notice now that the central actor spawned and actually flattened the landscape to this area right here. So if I go and update forced Unreal to update its terrain shader, notice that now we have an area where this this central actor has flattened the area. So we have like a little cubby. And notice also that if I select the actor, I'm going to pull him up here so it's obvious, there's actually a volume here that is used to flatten the terrain. So this area right here is the value that we use to flatten the terrain, right? So if I come back here and I make it here a little bit higher, I can also click on flatten terrain and notice that we have the terrain being flattened here. So you can do that manually as well. You can sync it, flat terrain, and notice that things just there we go, we can flatten it. So that is the idea. We can also specifically add landscape layer, material layer. So let's say that we want to flatten this, but apply material layer index 2. And you can see here that we have a section here. We would select the landscape, and we would select the material layer index, and in this case it's 2. And we can apply the material, and notice that now not only did we flatten the landscape, but we applied layer 2, which is the dirt material. So again, we force Unreal to update the landscape shader, and now you see that we have a little dirt area that is flattened for our little fountain. That's it. And remember, if we want to go back and we want to flatten everything back, we go back to Tools, Flatten. We want to make sure that we grab this, make this really big area, and we basically flatten the entire thing. We can then also go to Paint, right click on Procedural, Fill Layer, and now everything is back to normal. Alright, and that is pretty much it. If you wanted to create your own central actor, my recommendation would be to clone one of these guys, because you want to make sure that you have this class as a parent. By having this class as a parent, you will automatically have the flatten capability and the landscape layer capability. Otherwise, you won't have that. And that's pretty much it. Make sure that you open these different central actors. Take a look at how I've set up everything, and you will feel free to add more things here or change whatever you want, and then you can add them to the array here. And that's all there is to it, guys, for central actors. All right, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.